Right, a special good morning to you. Friday, the last assembly of the week. Friday, the 5th of February. And we'll start with the riddle of the week, the answer. I know you'll all be desperate to find out the answer. So I'd said to you, how many months of the year have 28 days? And I had a few emails in about this. A few people got it right, a few people got it wrong. So the trick is a little bit of a trick question, this, if you'd man. I know some of you I didn't manage to catch out, but some people might have said it was February, and you would have been wrong because the answer was all months of the year have 28 days, at least 28 days, isn't it? So that was a little bit of a trick question. So it was every single month of the year has at least 28 days. Some of them have more, some of them have 30, some of them have 31. So that was the answer to this week's riddle of the week. So Mondays now we'll have another new riddle for you. But today's assembly links into next week's work. Next week is Safer Internet Week, and using computers, using tablets, using iPads, using Chromebooks, using all electronic devices very, very safely. Now, that's a skill that you have to learn in school. It's not something that I had to learn in school, because when I first started school, we didn't even have computers in there. Then we had computers that were called BBC computers, and they used to wheel them around the classes. Some of your mums and your dads, or even some of your grandparents may remember that, the old BBC computers. But we certainly didn't have the internet, and they didn't connect anywhere, and you couldn't get, you had to load the games up. And then I can remember having my first computers when I was a little boy, a VIC-20, and I have an Atari computer, and you had to load the games up on a cassette, and it used to take about an hour for the games to load. Now, if you want to play a game on your PlayStation, you just plug it in, press a button, away you go. But often we'd have to be waiting an hour for this game to load up, and then you could guarantee after about 50 minutes it would say error on the screen, and you wouldn't be able to play. You'd have to start all over again. So you'd be waiting another hour before you can play the game. And I just think sometimes, I don't know if that's a bad thing, because it really taught us patience. Everything wasn't immediate when I was a little boy, but then you had the computers. And I can remember the internet first starting really when I started teaching. And even when I first started teaching, there wasn't that many computers in the school. And when the original computers were made, it took a whole room to house them. That's how big they were. Now, your smartphone is as powerful as many of those computers that used to, be in an entire room taken up. So, but unfortunately, with all of the opportunities with new technology, unfortunately, we've had dangers that come with it as well. So it's a brilliant thing when it's used properly, technology and the internet. However, when it's not, then it can lead to some serious consequences. And next week, a lot of your activities at home will be around learning how to keep safe. And you know that because we speak to you regularly about it in school anyway. But the focus of next week's work will be safer use of the internet. And I'm going to start it with an assembly today, so you can think about it over the weekend, and then you can hit the ground running with your work next week. Now, another special treat next week, Mrs. Lowe, who, as you know, since Mrs. Fredrickson has left, has become the acting deputy head teacher here, and she's going to be doing an assembly for you every Wednesday. So, as you know, Mrs. Fredrickson used to take assembly in school once a week. Mrs. Lowe will now take assembly once a week for you. So you get a break from me on a Wednesday. I don't want to hear anybody cheering. So we get on to Safer Internet. And it's an interesting story. Meet Samaya. She's in year 5 now and generally loves school. Her favourite subject is art. And last week she had wonderful fun when her school held an art week. The children displayed their work in an exhibition at the end of the week. Even the teachers showed some of their work. Smaya emailed an invitation to her father and stepmother that she had created using her other love, computers. They arrived at 3 o'clock, just like the invitation asked them, and thoroughly enjoyed the exhibition. Samaya is very conscientious when it comes to keeping herself safe. A few months ago, she had taken part in a road safety course for cyclists. She had listened carefully to her instructors as they showed her how to be safe on the roads, how to approach intersections with care, how to wear a helmet to protect her head. Samaya was always very careful when working in the kitchen at home with her mother. She didn't use the large knives that her mother used, and when she did use a knife, she always cut away from herself and concentrated on what she was doing. Samaya did other things to look after herself at home too. She put her games away so that nobody would trip over them. She carried scissors around by holding onto the sharp end, and she never ever played with matches or candles. Well, being conscientious means doing things the right way and being really interested in getting things right. Now, you imagine all the things you do to keep yourself safe in the house or when you're in school. Surprisingly, there is one part of Samaya's life where she doesn't know about safety. She doesn't even realise that she needs to. Can you guess what it is? Well, that's right. Samaya isn't very good at keeping herself safe on the computer, or more exactly, on the internet. And she really needs your help. Listen carefully to the situations that Samaya has come across and do your best to give her some good advice about what she needs to do to keep safe. Samaya's school has a website where the children can access maths games. The games were so popular with the children that the school bought a subscription that the whole school could use. Oh, sounds like my maths. Each child was given their very own username and password. Samaya did as the teacher asked her. She put it in a safe place and made sure that she didn't lose it. Yesterday, one of her classmates came to school very upset because she hadn't been as careful as Samaya. She had lost her login details and hadn't been able to complete the homework exercise that the children had been set. In between sobs, she asked Samaya if she could borrow her username and password. Samaya really likes to be a good friend and help people out when she can. What should Felicity do? Samaya. What should Samaya do? Well, we know. Don't share. Samaya has an email account. She uses it to email her friends and her cousin who lives in Japan. Samaya loves getting emails and reading them. The other day, she received an email from someone who wasn't on her friends list, somebody who she didn't know. It had an attachment that was called Get a Free iPad. A few of Samaya's friends have iPads and she would really like one herself, but her parents said her netbook is all she needs for now. What should Samaya do? Should she click on the attachment? No, we never ever click on things that we do not know who they've come from. Samaya has just started a Facebook account. At the moment, she has 72 friends, mostly people from her school and from the dance class that she goes to on a Tuesday and Friday night. Samaya spends a lot of time on Facebook, messaging her friends and changing her status updates. The other day, she posted pictures of the weekend away that she had with her father and stepmother. They had been camping and Samaya had a wonderful time. Samaya's mother knows about her Facebook account and has helped her to make sure that the security settings mean that only her friends can see her details online. Samaya would like to add more friends and to help friends find her, so she is going to change her profile details without telling her mother, so that people know what school she goes to and how to contact her. Should she do it? Should she put personal information about herself online? Again, no. No personal information, no sharing anything about yourselves that people can see in the public. Like most children, Samaya loves to play games online with her friends. Recently, she's been playing a new game against people from all around the world. One of her online friends has been trying to beat her for ages and sent her a private message a couple of weeks ago asking her how she got to be so good at the game. Samaya was really flattered to be thought of as an expert, and she and her online friend had been swapping messages several times an evening ever since. Samaya has followed your advice and hasn't shared her personal information with her new friend. But the friend knows that she lives in Swansea because of her online details. Her friend also lives in Swansea and wants to meet up to share hints and tips on how to play the game. Samaya wants to get a higher score. Should Samaya meet her new online friend? I hope you're all shouting no. We never ever go and meet somebody that we've met online. We certainly don't know who they are. They could be pretending to be anybody. Samaya was chatting with her friends the other evening on the internet in one of the chat rooms that they all log into. One of her online friends started to say some unkind things to Samaya, calling her nasty names and using swear words in her messages. As you can imagine, Samaya was very upset and began to type a nasty message back to her friend. Oh, this is something we've had this before in this school where people have been playing online games and have been horrible to one another, and then that gets brought into school for me to deal with. What should you do if you receive unkind messages on the internet? Think, yes, tell your mum, tell your dad, tell whoever looks after you. Come and tell us in school. As I said, we've had to deal with it. I'm not going to mention any names or which class it was in. However, one particular person was being really horrible to other people online, typing nasty messages. So in fact, it's happened a couple of times. So it does happen. Happens in St Helens, happens in Swansea. So we've learned lots of information today, and you've been very, very helpful with your answers. Samaya knows a lot more about keeping herself safe on the internet. Now, the internet is such a wonderful and helpful tool that it plays a big part in our daily lives. Learning to stay safe on the internet is a very important life skill. We all have a right to be safe in life and safe on the internet. Alongside that is a responsibility to look after yourselves and others. Here are some of the tips to help you. Always respect others. Be careful what you say online and what images you send, because they say all of these stay on the internet for life. And I've seen instances in the newspaper where they've dragged up tweets or found tweets that people have put years ago, perhaps making racist or sexist comments or saying not very nice things, and they found them. The people who said them may have thought that it's all long and long time ago and forgotten, but people will find them. Think before you send. Whatever you send can be made public very quickly and could stay online forever. Look out for your friends and do something if you think they're at risk. If you see risky behaviours from your friends, tell somebody. Tell your parent, carer or a teacher if something or someone makes you feel uncomfortable or worried. Always follow your family's rules for the internet. They're there to make sure you have fun and stay safe online. Never do anything that could cost your family money unless your parents are there to help you do it. And that's another thing I hear. In-app purchases in games, isn't it? Where people end up owing thousands of pounds. If somebody says something to you, sends you something, or you see something that makes you uncomfortable, don't look around or explore. Get your parents instead. They'll know what to do. And we've had parent training on this in the past, keeping safe on the internet. So, very, very important messages today. I hope you enjoyed. Have a think about all of that now, so when you get your work next week about internet safety from your teachers, you're already a step ahead in the game. Have a lovely weekend. Keep yourself safe. Some good sport this weekend. For tonight now, Swansea against Norwich in the football, top of the table clash. And I know Sunday Wales are playing in the rugby against Ireland, so I'm looking forward to watching those games because there are not many things we can do at the moment. So we have to stay in a lot. So that will be a nice opportunity. But if the weather's nice, get out, get some fresh air, enjoy. But as always, keep yourself safe. And later today now, we might get an announcement on the news. So if you are free at lunchtime, perhaps you'll be able to listen to the news to see if there's any messages on there about a possible to return to school after half term. I don't know anything. They haven't told me anything yet about that. So I'll be listening to the news just as you will on Friday. Hopefully we'll be back together soon. Have a lovely weekend. But as we always finish with, our school prayer. So hands together and eyes closed, or you may pray in whichever way you want. But we'll all say the school prayer together. This is our school. Let peace dwell here. Let the rooms be full of contentment. Let love abide here. Love for one another and love for life itself. Let our school be a lovely place where all of us are caring to each other, to work our best and show our smiling face, staff and children helping one another today and always. Have a lovely weekend. Keep yourself safe, online and in life. And I shall see you all on Monday for another week of home learning. Hopefully it won't be much longer before we can get back and see each other again. As we always say, over and out.